Hi, Daily Dosers. My name is Paige Hilken. This is my husband, Christopher Hilken. Give him a second. He's a little bit shy. Today, we're going to be sharing with you guys some of our best practices in marriage. Do you have anything that you would like to say, babe?
Sure. You have to give me, I'm not very good in front of the camera. We just learned some stuff early on in marriage that we messed up with pretty bad. I think in some expectations that we didn't know that we had. And one of the analogies that I like to use with the students in high school, it's like when you're growing up, you feel like this proverbial cup, and this cup could be baggage, past, brokenness, hurt, sexual history, a lot of stuff. And for some of us, when we go into marriage, it's a pretty full cup, and it's kind of brimming right there. Some of us, it's a little bit further down, and then your spouse has a cup as well, and they've got those same things. Half of it is full of expectations, what's marriage going to be like. Another one's full of hurt, pain, history, betrayal. And so we get married, and then what happens in marriage is we think, oh, awesome, they're going to fill the things that I need, and I'm going to fill the things that they need. But what happens instead is you kind of hit into each other, and you have your first argument, your first fight, or you're on your honeymoon and you look across the table and you go, is this it? And what happens in those moments is as the cups kind of clink together, what happens is a whole bunch of stuff spills out, and you look down at yourself and you go, what'd you do? Like, why would you do that? It's everywhere. Come on. And your other party's going, what did I do? What did you do? We end up getting mad at each other, and we think that there's actual marriage problems, but there's not really marriage problems, is there?
No, I think that that's why it's so important to have a proper perspective on your spouse's actual identity. I think that a lot of the times when we get married, all of a sudden Christopher becomes my husband instead of who he really is, which is a son of God. It says all throughout the Bible that he was fearfully and wonderfully made. He was knit together in his mother's womb, and that Jesus values him so much that he gave up his life for him. And when I can see him in that light, it really helps in those scenarios when we're having issues, when our cups do spill over onto one another. It helps me be able to be a lot more obedient to God's commands. I could never look God in the face and say, I know that you value him so much. I know that your son gave up his life for him. I know that you created him very intricately and on purpose. But today I just don't really feel like dealing with his issues. Like, that's just something that I could never look God in the face and do. And so I think that having that perspective is just a really powerful shift that we can all have when we're married. That's going to help when our cups do clink together and start to overflow.
Because ultimately, we don't have marriage issues, right? Marriage issues it's a fable. It's like saying a restaurant is nice. Oh, that's a really nice restaurant, or the culture there is really nice. All we mean is the people inside are nice, right? When people go, Chick-fil-A is it's a really great restaurant. It's a really nice restaurant, but like the walls don't talk, the benches don't talk, the Chick-fil-A sauce doesn't speak except for it in its delicious nature. But what we mean is the people there are like that. So when we say, man, our marriage is having issues, a marriage is an idea. It's made up of two people. And a huge part of like what Paige is talking about has been helpful for us is I think that your job is to fulfill something in me. But I don't remember your identity as separate from mine, in that before you are married to me, you are a daughter of the Most High King. And that it says at the end of our lives, my goal is to present her as holy and blameless to God. But oftentimes I wake up every day thinking, what can I get from you? What can I take from you? How can you bring me happiness? And that's the burden that should be placed only on God. God is there to bring us identity and the purpose and worth. And so imagine like having this throne of God and putting it up there and then saying, hey, babe, go sit on that thing for me. Go fill that chair. Go. And of course I'm going to be disappointed with her. Or of course when our cups clink together, stuff is going to spill out and I'm going to get frustrated because I've put her in a place of deity in my life. And one of our phrases we say a lot is, whatever you idolize, you ultimately demonize. And a lot of our frustration with each other in marriage has been because I forget that your job isn't to complete me, right? And your job isn't to make me happy. Is that ring true for you too?
Yeah, especially in the beginning of our marriage, I think that having struggled with my own identity issues, I placed my identity in Christopher, and again, it never goes well when your identity is anywhere other than Christ. So making sure that our own identity is placed in the right position and that we identify our spouses as the right type of person, the way that God sees them, is just so important.
So when your cups clink together, maybe this week, remind yourself that my first and foremost job is to make sure that she's presented as holy and blameless, and that any marriage issue probably starts with me. and we'll see you guys tomorrow.